take going forward. Dr. Narayan, while we've been playing on the negative side, we've been talking about there being a range-bound move with a slight negative bias, which is why we earlier on spoke about the put, the ratio put spread, which you recommended that we should cover and probably focus more on the straddle. What's the sense now, considering that there is put writing happening at lower levels with an expectation of a slight bit of a bounce back?
Yeah, I think what we are seeing today is an upside traction, fairly mild but upside nevertheless. This has to be seen in light of the extremely narrow range that we had as of yesterday. If you looked at the trading pattern of yesterday, the Nifty showed a range of only about 48 points for the whole day. Now that's less than a percent. Similarly, Bank Nifty, which is fairly volatile in its movement during the day, showed a range of about 105 or I think about 110 points, which is again very small considering a base which is so large. So which means that both the main tradable sets of indices had extremely narrow ranges, and narrow ranges normally precede a trend breakout. It's not necessary that it should happen every time, but then we do have the market moving upside today, and if I were to marry the upside movement of today with the narrow range of yesterday, then clearly the bias shifts to the upside. Okay, it is fairly mild right now. It's only gone up to the, let's say, minimal levels of resistance, which was at 53.40. All sets of things are in place, no doubt. But I'm happy with the fact that the market has chosen to go upward. So what I would feel is that this is a moment which could last for a day or two more. So I would remain upside bias for now.
All right. In that light, remaining with an upside bias, considering strategies that we've been taking are mainly for a range-bound trade and on the negative side with a negative bias, would you close out those strategies? Yesterday we were talking about the 5300 straddle. What would you do with those strategies? And any new strategies to play the range or the upside on the Nifty?
Yeah, I think since we have now developed a slight upside bias, the first thing to do without a doubt is to close the range-based set of strategies that we have. We had a short strangle on earlier, 54.52, which we took somewhere around 64 odd levels. It is now down to 32 rupees. I think it would be wise to close this out if you have not closed it already. The other one which we had was a 5300 short straddle, which we took somewhere around 120, and it's trading currently at about 98. So we are in fairly decent profits in both the positions, and I strongly recommend that both of them should be closed. Now that the market has moved up a little at 53, 20, 30, I don't really want to take a fresh position because it's a little at the higher end of the range for the day. Now, given that day movements are pretty small. So I would say wait for a pullback to about 5280 levels where one could actually initiate long Nifty futures with a very close by stop at about 52.55. I don't want to give far too much room for the market to breathe, mainly because the uptrend has been signaled but it has not been confirmed. So I would say a newer strategy would be to play long on Nifty at 52.80 levels with a firm stop lower than 52.55.
All right, a firm stop at 52.55, but Dr. Narayan now sees some upside potential and therefore is recommending that one can go long on the Nifty futures on every dip. Close out the earlier strategies of the straddle as well as the 5200 to 5400 strangle, which is basically playing for that range bound move.